Very good evening, friends. So let's start our session in few seconds. Just okay. Namaste, everyone. So today we have with us Master Ravi Kiran. Master Ravi Kiran came into this meditation in the year 2007. He was in deep depression during that time, and he got introduced to this Anapanasati meditation by his friend, who is his wife, Pranahita. So he started with 40 days of meditation, and by practicing this 40 days of meditation, he came out of depression and also insomnia problem. And since then, he have been continuing in this meditation path. And he strongly believes that with this one Anapanasati meditation, so we can be successful in each and every area of our life. And he moved to UK in the year 2011. And since 2012, he have been spreading this meditation in UK. And he's one of the founding members of Pyramid Meditation Foundation UK. And he played so many key roles in Pyramid Meditation Foundation UK, and he has conducted various workshops, sessions, and retreats through this Pyramid Meditation Foundation UK. And he regularly takes various sessions and workshops in UK, in Europe, in Sweden, in Australia. And now he is living in Rugby with his wife and his beautiful daughter. And he is known for his helping nature, and he's so compassionate, and he encourages everyone, and he supports everyone. And they are best examples for spiritual parenting, both Ravi Kiran and Pranahita. She's a great master, senior most pyramid master, and they are inspiration to many people in UK and also across this pyramid spiritual societies movement. So, Master Ravi Kiran, we welcome you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Master Lakshmi. As they say, the greatness lies in the eyes of the beholder. So thank you for your warm introduction. And yeah, today is my turn, my dear friends. Yeah, I hope I will try my best to share the knowledge that I gained, the experiences I have got, in this journey. I started my meditation in the year 2007. And as Master Lakshmiji mentioned, I came out of depression. I was on the verge of ending my, life. And then, all of a sudden I learned the meditation over the phone through my friend then. Now she's my wife. And the complete life changed. A transformation happened. So whole credit goes to, my wife and our Grandmaster Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, who has this, who has done this great job of, great universal work of spreading meditation to each and every person on this planet Earth. That was his dream always. He used to say Dhyana Jagat, Shakahara Jagat, Pyramid Jagat. So such a amazing, what do you call, objectives, aims, goals. So intentions, great intentions. So I will bow down to Patriji and immense gratitude. So let us, as usual, let us do few minutes of meditation today, not 10 minutes, very few minutes. Okay, let us go into meditation. Okay, remove the specs if you're wearing the specs. Completely relaxed, my dear friends. Whole body is fully relaxed. Let us stop everything. Imagine that we only have these 5 minutes. And these 5 minutes, the last few minutes, how do you want to spend? Drop everything, family members, work, all the identities that we have created. The knowledge that we have accumulated. Everything drop. Fully dropped. No identities. No traces of any identities. And observe that what is remaining. When you drop every other identity, whatever the remaining is, observe that. You are not a father, you are not a mother, you are not a son, daughter. You are not a director, an engineer, a doctor. Drop everything and focus on that which is remaining. Last few seconds. Okay. Feel the body, feel the surroundings. Gently release your hands. Place them on your eyes for a few seconds. And gently open your eyes. Okay, friends, hope you had a quick, good meditation. So I will start with my experience. One of the experience that I had some time back, few years ago, that when I started my meditation journey, I started in the year 2007. It was in the country Sweden. It was in Stockholm. And after a few days, I moved to India again. And I was meditating regularly. And once there was a dream that, because I used to do meditation very intensively, very intensive meditation. At one point, I did meditation for 8 hours a day. Not in one stretch though, like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And I used to get a lot of dreams, lot of visions, which are, I don't know. Some of them I don't even, I cannot even relate. What are they? Some random dreams, but I used to remember. Before that, I used to forget. The moment I get up, I used to forget. But slowly that, I started remembering some dreams. Some of them are like about my past life, some visions. When I shared with my wife Prana, she used to, she said that, you have seen a glimpses of those, the past life. I have seen the full picture, and what you have seen and what I have seen is same. So that's when she said like, okay, you are my, we were there together in the past life. And but honestly, I didn't see the full picture, as I said, like, because she has seen it, and I could not connect the dots, the full picture. And one of the dream was once there was a big disaster happening everywhere, fire, and something is coming from the sky, falling something, kind of a fire everywhere. And in the dream, I was there, and Jesus came in a as you see him in a white long dress, and something was about to fall on me, and then it just uh, pulled me out of that. So that was the dream. So then I realized, okay, because I'm doing meditation, uh, that was my understanding then, the meditation. So meditation is saving me from the death. So here Jesus is kind of a, in a pictorial form of meditation, and meditation is will save me from the death. That was my experience. It was in the beginning when I started my meditation. And then after that, there was one other experience in a few years ago, as I said, like, there was one instant happen. There was a flight accident, the crash happened. And I was like, oh my goodness, there are about 200 plus people, and don't know where they have gone. And such a scary thing. I mean, even though I was meditating, I was I was listening to Patriji, and a lot of wisdom was shared by different masters, and he was every now and then on the stage, he would share no death, because I used to attend all the Dhyana Mahachakras, and then it used to be called as Dhyana Yajna. So it used to be for 7 days. But still, that kind of fear was there in me. After that incident, what happens, if somebody dies like that? And then again, I got one other dream. It was a dream. And in the dream, uh, a big, very big flight, very big aeroplane, yeah, flight. And in that, Patriji is sitting, in the, I mean, I couldn't really see the cockpit and the people and all those things. It just, from the front, I could see Patriji and some of the PSSM masters, which I know them. So I could see them. And Patriji is also there. And that flight was like about to crash again. So, and it is doing all the, rounds and everything, going here and there, shaky. So many things are happening. But Patriji is like sitting, like, kind of holding his bed, and then he's doing like this. And he's looking at me, and there's not even an inch of movement in his behavior, and the way he's sitting. He's just sitting, and the flight is rotating and all those things, and he's looking at me, and then he's king. And then in his look, I can see that intuitively I could feel that in the dream there is no death. So this was the one of the experience that I got in the dreams when I was having this fear of death then. Okay, so during that time when this incident happened, so that flight accident happened. So that is kind of a, even in the dreams, we receive the wisdom from masters. So that was one of the profound experience in my life so far. I could, which I could remember. So, and when I came to UK in Scotland, um, uh, Pranahita, she worked in Scotland for a couple of months. Her base location was in Scotland, and then she transferred to London. So for 2 months she was there. Every week I used to go there, and one day we just happened to visit one of the church there. Uh, there is this one mediumship. I don't know what we call them. So they were explaining about the death, and one of the person, he was saying that the death is like, uh, it is when death happens, you feel like a freedom. Something is freed. So like a bottle is a air trapped in that bottle, and the what you call lid is closed, and when you open the lid, what happens? That freedom, right? So the air comes out of that bottle, and it kind of mingles with the entire consciousness, right? So entire cosmos. So and then it becomes freed, and it's a kind of freedom. So that's, he has given that analogy, and then I understood, okay, it's kind of, when death happens, you feel like there is a freedom. You feel like there is a freedom, right? So I will explain some of the knowledge that I gathered over the period of time from multiple masters, and I would like to share the different types of freedoms. Okay, so the freedom, there are, there is a physical freedom, right? Physical freedom, as in, like, if you, I mean, all of us know that, for thousands of years, so many years, that people used to be slaves, and the people used to be transported from one place to other place like a commodities, right? And they were sold in the market, just like or whatever the commodities, the sugar, or any other commodity. The slaves were there all over the world. They were existing all over the world in different places, whether it is west or east. There used to be slaves, okay, in kingdoms, or everywhere. So they were not given any kind of rights whatsoever. Okay, they were not really accepted as human beings. They were kind of thought of as some kind of commodity. And in India also, in India also, some kind of lower caste and upper caste, because we know, that's why I'm trying to relate it to it. And it is not that it is existing now. So there used to be some kind of this untouchable things, right? So everybody was like, many people were living in slavery. And there are still some parts of the world, I mean, we see sometimes, people, they hire people for houseworks, and they kind of keep them with them for 24 hours, and some kind of slavery is there. And even I have read somewhere in the news in the UK that people bring from some other countries, and they keep here, they use, like, for all the works. So some kind of slavery. Okay, and some, as I said, like untouchable. Even if you touch them, you feel like, there used to be a feeling that, okay, if you touch them, you will become impure. So that kind of mentality used to be there. And if you touch them, we need to take the bath immediately. Otherwise, we will be impure. So that kind of that kind of slavery is like a, coming out of that kind of slavery is a physical freedom. And if you see that, even women were not considered as equal as man, right? So I heard this story that in some parts of the world where woman was treated as a commodity. And if they want to, if husband wants to, if he doesn't like, if he wants to kill his wife, he can kill. And there is no problem, and there is no legal implications. That kind of situation used to be there, in some countries in the past. But now the things have changed. So many laws have come, and then even at workplace, that men and women, the equal rights and all those things have come. So some kind of freedom has come from the slavery, from this discrimination. Any kind of discrimination is a physical, like a slavery. So any kind of black and white, even there is no freedom, right? So that kind of discrimination, that kind of distinction is like, there is no freedom of the body. Okay, so coming out of this is a physical freedom. Okay, so there is no distinction between man and woman, and there is no distinction between the color, black and white. So nobody is pure and nobody is impure. All the bodies are same. And this is the very basis for the freedom. So this is the physical freedom. And then there is this psychological freedom, right? So there is very few, even now, in this time, in this generation, very few people. That is also changing. So like the way physical freedom has kind of evolved over the period of last few decades, in the same way the psychological freedom is also kind of evolving, right? So there are very, very few individuals, they were psychologically free before. That's why they could do whatever they want to do, and they could invent such a wonderful technology advancements and the medical advancements, because they were psychologically free. And if you are born as a Muslim, you are not psychologically free. If you are born as a Hindu, you are not psychologically free, right? So because you are born as a Muslim, you will have a Muslim mind. If you are born as a Hindu, you will have unless you are coming out of that mindset and accepting everything and studying everything and seeing the good things from everything. There is a word in Hindi called, in Hindi, like I regularly say, that sabka sunna aapka karna, right? So listen to everybody and do whatever you want to. But here, the way the childrens are made, because everybody is a victim of victim, right? So the way the childrens are made slaves, because of they made slaves of religious ideologies, okay, or political ideologies. So if you go and see in India, or I don't know here, even here also, I think so, if family votes for certain party, uh, even their children and everybody, they will vote for that party, no matter who is sitting there and who is contesting in the elections. Everybody, like the way they bring up the children is like, they're completely trained, they are completely programmed. And the parents, they force their minds in the certain way that they want to, if they have not achieved something in their life, they want to see in their children's future, in their children's career. So there's some kind of molds they will create, right? Okay, this is the engineering mold, and this is the doctor mold, and this is the architecture mold. So they will create something, and they want to fit into that mold, right? So we stuff their mind with the things that even we don't know sometimes. Because, for example, I want to be a singer. Let's say I want to be a singer and I could not do it. Or maybe I realized after after I grown up, I realized that, okay, had I played cricket in my childhood days, I would have been a cricketer now. So you see, look at the cricketers, how much they are becoming famous and how much they are earning. And because I don't even know about the cricket, but still, because it is giving some fruits to others, we want our children to do that. We don't care about their likes and dislikes, what they are interested in, what their inner calling is. We want them to send to particular school, particular college, and we do a lot of research. We ask so many people, but we don't ask our children. So this is like, we are teaching our children that we don't know ourselves. We don't know ourselves first, right? We don't know who we are, what is our true self, but we want our children to, grow in certain way. We want children to achieve in certain, achieve the success in certain fields and certain sector. So this is very, very important. The psychological freedom is very, very important, and it is only possible when you allow them to grow. Okay, when you help them to grow, and when you give the space to them, you yes, your responsibility is there to give the space to them to uh, create such environment so that they can learn more and they can grow to more intellect and to more intelligence, to more consciousness, to more alertness. So there shouldn't be any kind of belief that should be given to them, right? They should not be taught any kind of faith. Okay, let's say if you are like, when a child is born and you are not telling him whether it's Hindu or Muslim or Christian, whatever it is, what will he do? you know there is unlimited possibilities. So because we kind of giving that identity, it's okay. I mean, I'm not saying that completely reject the religion that you are born in. It's just that don't try to program that this is the best religion and this because you are here and go and do this in front of the God and God is there somewhere. And don't give kind of stories that okay, that God is there and on the other side God is there. And unless you know it, don't teach anything, don't try to teach anything. Okay, only if you don't know. My daughter asks so many questions. I would laugh and then I'll say, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to answer if I can find the answer, but at the moment I don't know. I literally say this because she asks so many. Children have so many questions, right? So if some of them, if I can find out, I'll say that I'll try to find out with someone who knows, who has more knowledge than me, or I will try to ask mom. And if she knows, I will try to, literally, this is what I tell because I understood this, because I learned from this masters, wonderful masters, PSM masters from Patriji. So even when we were getting married, he said, like, parents should not be involved, should not be involved in the, in the decision making who they want to marry. Pranayata, she took the decision on her own. Like, after she has seen a past life, and then even after I kind of tried to convey her, okay, let's get married. But she was like, she has done all the things. She said she kind of taught in multiple aspects. Which one is, whether it is good or not. She has seen my personal, professional, all the behaviors she has seen, and then she took the decision. So your own truth, your own findings are going to liberate you. Nothing else can do that for you. Nobody else can liberate you. People think that, okay, following this guru will liberate me, following this master will give me the moksha. So Pradeep ji, he mentioned very nicely yesterday, right? So your own truth, your own findings is going to liberate you. Nothing else can liberate you, my dear friends. Truth cannot be borrowed, right? So my truth is my truth. I've learned something with my own experiments, okay, with my own experience. That is my own truth. Okay, you cannot borrow the truth. So something which worked for me, it may not work for you. Okay, likewise, something that worked for you may not work for your children. Okay, don't try to force. So that kind of, if you can give that space, if you can give that environment which can sharpen their intelligence, then it is, they can be psychologically free. Okay, and they will, trust me, if you give this environment, if you allow them to be psychologically free, they will definitely be grateful for you in the future. Okay, they will definitely thank you for the space that you have given, the environment that you have given. This is the psychological freedom, my dear friends. Okay, so you don't have to teach anything to him, in the sense, in the things that you want to force him in certain aspects, right? So when you give that psychological freedom, there then it comes with a great responsibility also for them. Okay, my parents have given some freedom to me. Okay, I have that responsibility. Let me, it's like a, hand in hand, right? If you give the freedom, they will also get the responsibility. So they will be grateful for you in the future. Otherwise, everybody like, okay, my father was like that, my mother was like this. Had they told me like this, I wouldn't have been like this. So we blame them, right? So before meditation, we used to blame them, right? So everybody would agree that, even after coming into meditation for a few days, oh, my parents, they did not teach me meditation. We blame even for that. Even after you coming into meditation, even after meditation transformed you, first few days you will say, okay, oh, you are so lucky that, you came into meditation so early age, at an early age. We still blame them, right? So when you give that psychological freedom, so there is no blame game, and they will be very grateful for you, and for parents, for father and mother. So the whole world is kind of living in this psychological slavery, and whole world, as in, like, now if you see the current generation, I love them, to be honest. I love them. So one of my colleague, he says that, if his son is into some sports, and he's getting selected, he goes to different places to play, and then so that he can be selected for the national team. And whenever, after every trial, if he's not selected and he comes home, and then he says, what happened? The person, this son says that, oh, they were good, I was not good. So simple. It was like very simple, and he knows the truth that, okay, they were good than me. But the father thinks that, no, I think there's, because of lot of influence is there, and people are rich, and only rich people will come into this. They can get the space into this sports, in this particular team. So that kind of mentality that parents have. But the current generation, I love them, to be honest. Every now and then, whenever we go to anybody's place, I see the maturity in them, the way they talk, the way they kind of see the things, the way they perceive the things is completely different, my dear friends. Okay, and give them that freedom. You see the transformation, the results that are going to come is, I think, future is in safe hands. That's my belief. Okay, and this is the third dimension, which is the ultimate dimension, which is the ultimate truth, ultimate freedom. Okay, which is that I am not the body. Knowing that I am not the body, which we have been listening since so many days with so many masters. Every master is coming, and every master is giving the wisdom in a different form and different shape. But still, the underlying truth, underlying reason, underlying main thing is, you are not the body, right? So that's what they've been telling. So knowing that you are not the body, so we have a body, but we are not the body. We have a mind, but we are not the mind. So we have that intellect, because you are born in Hindu, you have Hindu intellect. You are born in Muslim family, you have Muslim intellect. And you are born in Christianity, you have Christianity intellects. So you have that, but you are not that intellect, my dear friends. You are much more beyond that. So we are all much more beyond this body, mind, and intellect. So we know that truth, right? Somewhere we know, but it's just that our mind, which is coming into this and playing the trick, right? So we know that we are all part of the same spirit. We are all the specks of the same spirit. We are pure consciousness. That knowledge comes from meditation. The first thing in meditation, when you are really, really, really into meditation, the first thing is, when you are sitting in meditation, what you feel that your body is disappearing. At least if your whole body is not disappearing, some people say, oh, I didn't feel like that, my hands were not there. You see, the slowly that the truth is revealed to you when you are practicing meditation, the slowly, and then after some time, those thoughts, unwanted thoughts, so many thoughts in your mind, whatever are like wandering here and there, and your mind is going there, and slowly it comes into one state and it stays there in still, the stillness comes, and then there are no thoughts. Okay, at least for a few seconds, even few moments of that state is enough, my dear friends, to have that larger impact, right? So you are not the body. That is, most of us must have experienced. So this knowledge comes only through meditation, my dear friends. Okay, this meditation will separate you from the body. It will separate you from the mind. Okay, ultimate, you will witness that you are pure consciousness, you are pure awareness. When you are doing more and more meditation, you will see that awareness levels increasing, and you see that your emotions are coming, and you are witnessing yourself, and you are seeing that, you see the things very clearly. The way you perceive the things changes, everything changes, right? You will get that pure awareness. Okay, the Master Osho says, the wonderful book that I have suggested on many forums, and even on some other platform for about this no death session, Awareness by Osho. A great, great, great book. Read that, and as you read, you see the changes happening. If you are a meditator, okay, so as a meditator, you will understand. Your understanding levels will be, at a different level. The one who have the one who has the awareness lives even after the death. The one who has the awareness lives even after the death. The one who doesn't have the awareness never lives. Every day is a death, so-called materialistic death, so-called this, death of this body, right? So the true freedom from the death is spiritual freedom. What is the spiritual freedom? What is the spirituality, right? So how it comes? Only through meditation, my dear friends. So for everything, the main thing is practicing meditation. The more you practice, the more you realize that, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not that intellect. You are much more beyond that. Okay, so our biggest fear, right? Our biggest fear that, because we have that knowledge that this bodies will cease functioning on at one point. Okay, even if you are surrounded by happiness, like you have a good family, we have a good family, we have a good job, we have money, and we have all the luxuries, good house, good car, everything, but still there is some fear. Okay, there is some fear that is continuously there inside of us. There is continuously, we don't even try to look into that fear. Okay, we think that, okay, no, let's not give that attention to that fear. The moment we give the attention to that fear, then we are not happy. Friends, the more you suppress, the more it grows. The more you suppress, the more it kind of frozens in you, and then it is going to blast one day, which you cannot even sustain that results of that. So we need to look into that fear, whatever the fear. Even this, the technique is, we have to start from the smallest fears. Okay, so I used to have this, right? So when I am uh, standing in the platform, I used to think that, oh, if somebody comes, and if by mistake, if I fell down on the on the track, what happens? Kind of fears, right? It's good to be careful, but unwanted fears, so those kind of, I used to experiment slowly. So that kind of experimentations we have to see. We have to look into the fear, and we have to see. Sometimes I used to go into that darkness, when in my village, my house is like a very big house, and without lights, I alone, I used to be scared of going into different rooms. So that feeling was there, and that feeling I carried. And then later, after coming into meditation, I started experimenting. Okay, slowly look into that fear, and then I started going into that darkness, and then slowly I started experimenting, and then the fear is gone. Okay, now, without even lights, I can go into different rooms and everything. So that kind of experiments we have to see. We have to look into the fear. Okay, so the only way to calm down our fear, the only way to be happy is to acknowledge that, okay, I have the fear. Okay, and we have to look into that. Sometimes, as I said, like before meditation, I had a lot of fears, a lot of fears, stage fears, and a lot of phobias. But with meditation, I could overcome them, right? Instead of escaping from the fears, okay, we can kind of try to invite it. For example, uh, if you are scared, or if you are fearful of talking in, between the people, there are so many people, and you are, you are having that fear of talking in the in that group. So you can try to, initiate yourself and then come up with something and try to talk, and then, with that awareness, so slowly you will overcome that fear. Okay, so if we think that if we ignore the fear, it will go away. It will never go away, my dear friends. The more you suppress, it will grow. Okay, and it will come in different forms and shapes. It will bring you a lot of other issues, anxiety issues, a lot of sorrows, and you feel like you are powerless. And they show in a different forms and shapes, but we don't even aware that it is because you are suppressing the fears, right? So our biggest fear is that this body will decay, and this body will cease to exist. This body will stop functioning, and we think about our family members and all those things. But you know uh, for all these things, the meditation is the main important thing that everybody must do. And coming back to this, the freedom from the death is first thing we need to understand is, as all other masters already conveyed their message, that it is the part of the life. Death is the part of the life. Without death, life cannot exist. As some master said, okay, when you are breathing in, you are, that's when the life is happening. When the children, whenever a child is born onto this planet Earth, the first thing they do is they take this first breath. Okay, that's when life happens. When an old man or whoever dies, then the last breath exhaled. Okay, then the death happens. So you cannot say that, okay, let me inhale because I only want the life, I only want to live, I don't want to exhale. Will it happen? No. So both inhalation and exhalation, both breathing in and breathing out should happen. Only when breathing out is there, then breathing in can happen. The other cannot happen without the one. The breathing out cannot happen without breathing in, right? So this is what we need to understand, that we live by breathing in. Okay, and as much as we live by breathing in, we live by breathing out. So breathing out is the part of breathing in. Okay, you cannot breathe in and you can and you cannot say that, oh, I don't want to breathe out. So this is what we have to understand. If we understand that you know uh, the death is part of the life, then only we will be able to live. Okay, so the foundation is very, very important for everything, right? So uh, if you are kind of having that fear, and everything you are doing based on the fear based, so everything, whatever it comes, like you will see everywhere fear. The foundation is very important. So whatever the wisdom you are learning, where it is coming from, okay, you want to liberate yourself. Oh, no, because I'm fearful of this, and then that's why I want to do all these things. No, do it for your own liberation, do it for your own enlightenment. Okay, so out of fear, all these the ego, which is like so many masters have said that it is the ego that which is like afraid of the death. you know Otherwise life will not afraid of the death. because life in the death is part of the life itself. The very existence of death is part of the life. And how can life, fearful about the death? Okay, it is the ego. It is the ego which is kind of dividing. This is the birth and this is the death. Okay, birth is good and death is bad. And we think somehow that we have to protect ourselves against this death. And this idea of protecting ourselves, it it creates the miseries. Is it not? All the miseries are because I want to earn and I want to accumulate the money. I want to do some I want to earn so much of money and give it to my kids. All these kind of miseries, or whatever the suffering that you are going through, even though you don't like to work for, you drag yourself because you want to accumulate that, you want to earn, and you want to give it to your if something happens to me, then there should be some kind of financial what you call backup for my family. So the person who is afraid of exhaling, he cannot inhale. Okay, we are stuck there. We are stuck there. We simply drag. We simply drag, and there is there is no flow, right? It is not like a our life should be like a river. It should continuously flow. The moment we give the importance to life and we don't give the importance to and we are fearful about our death, that's it. It stops. Okay, so it is not our real self which is afraid of the death. Okay, it is, as I said, our life is not afraid of the death. It is not possible because the life in itself, the birth and death are like a kind of two sides of the same coin. Okay, so the coin cannot exist with one side, right? So amongst all these egos, the biggest ego is the spiritual ego, my dear friends. The most difficult to deal with is the spiritual ego. We are not even aware that there is a spiritual ego. We are masked with the spirituality. In the name of spirituality, in the name of positivity, we won't reveal our true self. Okay, and when we are when we are not revealing our true self, then you know we are rejecting ourselves. Okay, only when we are showing our true self, we are accepting ourselves. When we are not revealing our true self, we are rejecting ourselves. When we are rejecting ourselves, it means we are not loving ourselves. There's no self-love. And if you are not loving yourself, the very existence of ourself is no purpose, right? We are not loving ourselves. What is the purpose of the self when you are not loving? Right, there is no purpose. We are just dying every day trying to prove that others that we are positive, I'm spiritual, I'm gifted, I'm senior master, I'm a channeler, I'm a healer, I'm a light languager, I'm a master, I'm a psychic reader. So with all these kind of things, right, spiritual mask, okay, if you have it and you have it, that's fine. But it's just that not suppressing your emotions. Okay, and if you are suppressing yourself, you are not living. If you are not living, how can you allow the death into your life, which is the part of the life? Okay, how will you accept the death if you are not allowing your emotions to flow? Okay, how will you allow the death to come into your life? Okay, so you will not, unless you show your true, unless you reveal your true self, you will not be able to express yourself fully. You will not be able to express your feelings openly. Outside, a beautiful mask. Inside, frozen emotions, frozen feelings. You can wear all the spiritual outfits, like, nice, sugar coating and so many things. You can do all the things outside, but inside, full of anger, resentments, regrets, jealousy, hatred, complaints, blame games, judgments, conclusions. So there is this one wonderful statement from Jesus: show ye life and pretentious life is zero life. Okay, showy life and pretentious life, the more you pretend, you know, you are not living your life. You know, the showy life, pretentious life is zero life. Simple life is full of life. Okay, we should, as Pradeep ji mentioned yesterday, we should have that pure heart. We should try to, when you are going to the bed, the day before yesterday, Master Agni said, when you are going to sleep, you clear everything. You are pure at heart, and you breathe into your heart and breathe out from the heart, and there is nothing here in this space. Everything is empty. Okay, blessed are those who are pure at heart. For them, there is the kingdom of God. Okay, how can we be so pure with frozen emotions and frozen feelings? Okay, we have to have the true self, my dear friends. Leave all those spiritual egos, which is very, very difficult to identify that. Okay, so that is when you are out of that spiritual ego, that is when the true freedom happens. Okay, Patriji says, simplicity is enlightenment. Such a profound statement, such a profound statement. Simplicity is enlightenment. Common sense is enlightenment. Living joyful is enlightenment. Wonderful, wonderful teachings from Patriji. Whenever there is a possibility, you go and watch all the videos of Patriji's, short videos and everything. If we truly, truly want to live, we need to let the emotions flow, our feelings flow. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Go into a room. If you have anger, express your anger on the pillow. And if you want to cry, cry. Crying is, once Patriji mentioned very clearly, crying is not a negative emotion. It's a very positive emotion. Okay? Become a child. Unless you become a child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Okay, that's what Jesus said. Become a child. How child is so innocent, so pure. Whatever they want, they want chocolate. That's it. They want chocolate. Okay, they want to cry, they will cry. They want to laugh, they will laugh. So for them, take them to Tower Bridge and show them Kohinoor diamond and put a chocolate next to the diamond. What they will choose? If they want to choose chocolate, they will choose chocolate. They don't care about the Kohinoor diamond. How much worth it is, they don't care. Okay, so a yogi also feels the same. Okay, it doesn't long for anything. He doesn't have any kind of jealous in him. So many masters said, even Adi Shankaracharya said, and in Bhaja Govindam, one of the slokas says, and our one of the master Jesus said. Okay, so there are these three dangerous words, right? That if Patriji is sharing something in the video, or if some master coming and they are sharing something, so, oh, I already know this, and I had similar experience. The ego in me is desperately wants to throw it out. Oh, let me prove that. Let me prove that I am like. But when you are grounded, you will understand that it is not me. It is ego in me, which is triggering, right? That spiritual ego. So any kind of ego, that you have to get rid of it. Okay, the death of the ego is the only possibility of living the life. And when you are living the life, there are two things: birth and death, part of the life. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. The ego is like there is this wonderful example. It is given in one of the book that a traveler, he goes on city to city and collects a lot of dust, and if he doesn't take the bath, so it becomes a thick crust of dust, right? So he has to take the bath every day. Okay, like the way we have to take the bath every day. What bath? What is taking the bath here means? It's like meditating every day, every moment. Okay, so this is the ego, which is makes that this division of birth and death, right? If you try to recall the from when you are like infant, and then you become a baby, and then you become a teenager, can you demark? So when you have become a a toddler, when you have become a teenager, when you have become an adult, when you are becoming in 40s, you yourself don't even know that, uh, that how when you look at the photos, oh, I don't believe that I was like that. So only that ego, which is like creates a division, but otherwise there is no division, there is no demarcation, there is no kind of there is no division between the life and death. So they are like part of the same. So when do you think that really the life started? Is it when you started breathing, when you first landed on this planet earth, or is it started in your mother's womb? Okay, it was there, it was there even before that. For some of them, like, okay, only when I was born, that's when my life started. But actually doctors say that no, it was there even before that, when you were in the mother's womb. And when the person when you think that life ceased to exist is when the person dead, right? If you see that uh, Yukteswar Giri guru, Lahiri Mahashaya, he literally, a doctor came and I said, okay, he literally does the test that, there is no, the breaths, there was no breath when he tests that, he holds the, here, and then he checks whether it is, whether he is alive or dead. So he is smiling and he's giving his hand, and doctor is declaring that he's dead. So that, see, so you cannot even say that when the breath is stopping. The, many yogis have proved that, the death is not really when the breath stops. Okay, so it never ends anywhere. Okay, and also it never begins anywhere. We are involved in this eternity. Okay, we have been here since the beginning, very beginning. Okay, there was, if there were some enlightened master said there was no beginning and there is no end, right? So let's say I was living in London. I know, I think I stop other speakers now. It is the time to stop myself today. uh, so let's say I was living in London. Okay, we loved our place. We loved so much, right? And now we move to Rugby. Okay, we change houses. If I'm me, that's fine. That's fine. So if you're too identified, if I'm too identified with my house, like moving from London to Rugby was so painful. It is like a death, right? In the same way, if you're too identified with the body, if you are too identified with the relationships, if we are too identified with the financial status that we have, if you are too identified with the knowledge and the wisdom that we have, it is so painful to live, right? So to this, that identity, it is very painful to live, right? So there is a purpose for everything, right? I was there in London for a purpose. Okay, we loved our place, and there was, there were so many amenities which were very close to us, and I think my daughters was very comfortable there, and maybe for some purpose we were there. So likewise, birth has a purpose, and also death has a purpose. Okay, birth is happening to experience. Okay, and death is happening to, for the soul's growth, for the expansion of the soul, expansion of the consciousness. So we we really, feel sad about death of somebody, out of our own selfishness, right? So we think that, I used to think that, when I was a child, that first I will grow old. My grandfather, my grandmother, they both used to be there, and I used to think that I will grow old. First, I will die. Then, after my grandfather and my grandmother will die. So that's how I used to think, because I don't want to see their death. So I want to be there with them. So for our own selfish reasons, we want everybody to, have, and then, it's not that, we are like, uh, allowing everybody to die peacefully. It's just that because our selfish reasons, we want to live and we want others to also live, right, for us. So death is like a kind of boon for soul, from from a normal soul to enlightened soul, and to grow the to in the to grow the for that consciousness growth. Okay, so every death is teaches us a detachment. Okay, and death is uh, a kind of detachment from our physical existence. So, and taking another form. So I want to give one example here. So one guy goes into this antique shop in the US and he says that, oh, I see that axe. It's so nice. And then the shopkeeper says, oh, yes, it was owned by George Washington in 1700s. Wow, such a long period, and it stood so strong. Yes, it stood so strong. It's just that it had in this process, in this so many years, it had three handles and two heads, right? In fact, this is the same thing is going to happen, right? So in this process of the soul's journey, you will have hundreds of bodies, different forms, plants, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and then human kingdom. So the soul takes from mineral kingdom to plant kingdom to animal kingdom to human kingdom. The forms changes, so it will have different forms and shapes. So this death of ego is the true freedom, and how it happens only with the meditation, my dear friends. Only when you are connected to yourself. How can you connect yourself? With meditation. So uh, as I said, you can't even uh, demark where you are, how your child, how you have grown, how you have become from infant to baby, and then teenager. It's ego. Okay, and even after you see this transformation, right, from your child, from infant to child to teenage, you see there underlying something which is existing, and you are witnessing, which remains same, right? In the same way, even though so many bodies are changing, the underlying soul, that underlying thread which is connecting, it's remains same. Okay, which is beyond this life and death, my dear friends. So Richard Bach, I mentioned in one of the session that, if your purpose on this planet Earth is there, it is still there. If your mission is still there, no matter what happens outside, from outside, nothing can touch you. Okay, if your purpose is finished, if your mission is finished, you will just live like that with so much of ease. Some of the friends were like sharing about their family members just living their body just like that, because their purpose is done. So life and death are two wings, okay, of the bird. Okay, so for it for the bird to move forward, that there should be two wings. You cannot have only birth and not death, right? So you should have both. So uh, it is very important to understand that both birth and death are part of the life, and there's a lot to share. But I think I will conclude with some of the Patriji's thing, right? So Patriji on many occasions he said that the death is conclusion of one episode. Soul knows about all the births and all the deaths. Okay, so and even there are so many experiences who has went to this, who had this near death experiences, that, oh, we can't believe that it was so supernatural. Everything was very interesting and beautiful, and you can Google it and you will see that it seems very superstitious, but it was like very beautiful. I was going through a tunnel and no one took me, just I was going myself, and it was something. And at the end of the day, I was feeling so a great freedom there, and I was worrying, about my children, what, my fate of my children, what will happen after I go. But then after this experience, I had this, after this profound experience, I have this strong belief that, God will take care of my children. after my death. So there's so many experiences, so many, I see that some participants from Gudakesha, I have heard them, they experienced, they happened to meet their uh, family members who kind of vacated their bodies. And there is one of the very good experience that I read from the Soul's Journey book. It is there, but I'll share on some other occasion. For now, I think I'll conclude here. I'll stop myself.
Thank you so much, Master Ravi Kiran. Wonderful, wonderful wisdom sharing session. So true freedom comes from death. Beautifully explained with this analogy. Like freedom is like true freedom comes from death is nothing like freeing that air trapped in the bottle. And also you beautifully explained about different freedoms, about physical freedom. It is nothing but coming out of this slavery and discrimination. And psychological freedom, only if you have this psychological, only if you are psychologically free, then better advancements and inventions will happen. And very important points, like all the childhood programming is done when we are in the childhood. So as Patriji said, we have to listen to everyone and follow our heart. So we have to allow the children to grow, to explore. We have to create that environment for children. And one more beautiful point is like um, only with freedom comes responsibility. So beautifully explained. And also, I love this point. One who lives with awareness also lives after death. So life itself contains both birth and death. So wow, so many profound points. Thank you so much for this wonderful wisdom sharing session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmiji, for summarizing. And yeah.
So anyone? So friends, you'd like to share anything, or if you have any doubts?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, Ravi Kiran. One most important point, listening to all the masters so far, it's been, I think we are in the 20th day or 25th. I didn't count. So each and every master, you are listening very patiently. And then excluding those points, again, you have to speak about the death. That is the most toughest part you took. And that is what Patriji says at times, GK, how to tell about meditation. The same breath observation I am telling since last 25 years. Okay, I cannot change the technique. I cannot teach something else. So in your speech also, 1,000 times the same meditation is repeated as a solution. And he has to tell the same meditation throughout the 25 years. So that's why, as Sri Lakshmi Garu summarized, you took different levels. And then, so this example really, it touched me, like, comparing the birth and death to wings of a bird. That really so sensible, one can clearly understand that Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Jatrasainam, whatever the Bhagavad Gita says, it's part of the list. One wing is there means the other wing, obviously it should be there. Otherwise, there is no existence of a bird. So that is a beautiful example you took. And so really great time. I don't know how much time you took to prepare the entire. Of course, as a flow you can tell, but because you covered different aspects, so like ego, like fear, and so many things and different levels. So a lot of work you did on that, and then I can say it's a complete South Indian meal. Okay, so with all the components in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Yes, Ravi Kiranji explained about the spiritual ego, and one master is asking, I wanted to know
Yeah.
more spiritual ego.
Yeah, Rinaji. So spiritual ego is that, so when you are into meditation, right? So when you develop a kind of knowledge, maybe we may not be practicing it to, to say it as a wisdom. Only when you when we practice, we call it as a, from our perspective, we call it as wisdom. Otherwise, it's a knowledge. Unless we implement whatever we learn and we are walking that path, we cannot say it's a wisdom. It is only knowledge. Like, I'm a yoga teacher, right? I am a certified yoga teacher. I have double certifications. Actually, I have taken from different institutes, but I'm not practicing it. Okay, so I have that certificate knowledge, that skill, but I'm not really practicing. So I cannot call it as a wisdom, right? I can only say it as a knowledge. Likewise, the spiritual ego is like when we accumulate a lot of knowledge and we think that we are practicing it, and when we are sharing with people, and when we are like kind of talking to people, we unknowingly have that mask, the spiritual mask. Okay, and we, instead of we talking straight, like yesterday Pradeep ji came, and if he wants to say something straight, he will say, okay, it is his nature, right? So otherwise, with spiritual ego, we give lot of, we do the lot of beautification. And even if you are emotionally down and you don't want to, express those emotions, because you feel that, okay, me expressing those emotions, maybe it will make me, it will devalue me in front of others. Okay, and some people, let's say, I'll compare this thing with, when we as a child, right? We are in the school, in the classroom, and teacher asks a question, one question. Let's say, what is a plus b whole square, whatever it is. Then everybody wants, so I want to say, like that. If if somebody is sharing something, or some kind of thing, and then it and you want to share it, right? So that kind of things will, and if somebody is sharing something, instead of listening everything, and instead of taking that, you want to give your points and you want to prove your points. So that is spiritual ego. And in spiritual ego, uh, any kind of ego, right? So uh, there is some kind of separation happens. Okay, you divide, okay, this guy is a non-vegetarian and I'm a vegetarian. I'm a meditator, he's a non-meditator. And then you feel that, oh, I'm so blessed that I'm meditating. Okay, this kind of things will come into our, this thing. So in spiritual ego. So there are many, like if somebody shares about their journey, you see like, okay, I've done that, so and so, I've done that course, and I've done this. And so there are many different phases of ego. If you want to understand the different phases of ego, I would suggest the wonderful book called The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, the New Earth. New Earth. So the one who authored The Power of Now book, it is his second book, The New Earth. Amazing book. I would suggest you to read that, please. Thank you. Hope that answers, Reena ji. Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderfully explained. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Ravi sir. Wow. In such a short notice, you came up with a great concept. It's very, very brilliant, very brilliant. How you beautifully explained about different levels of, how we can experience the freedom. And Patri sir, always tells the real freedom comes from the soul. Soul itself is a freedom. So when we experience our soul consciousness, we feel that freedom in us. So it's not coming from outside. You beautifully explained how the physical freedom and psychological freedom. The psychological freedom is nothing but, dropping all the desires. So dropping all the expectations. it's a psychological freedom. Then we can experience this psychological freedom. And how every time you said about meditation. So every time, I could see Patri sir words. So Patri sir always tells, whatever we say, do meditation, Baba, everything will, you can understand. Whatever experience we share, when we ask him any question, any doubts, what is the reason behind this dream, or what is the reason behind this vision? So he simply says, don't analyze. So don't analyze any dreams, don't analyze any life experiences, and don't analyze any visions. So, and don't analyze anything. So just take it and accept. So in your words, it's like, it's Patri sir's wisdom is flowing so beautifully. It's not like Patri sir, it's you are different from Patri sir. So wisdom is same for every master. So truth is truth. So whatever Patri sir has shared is the truth, and we experience the truth and we follow that. And you beautifully explained about the inhalation and exhalation, about how we can compare to birth and death, and about the ego. It's a big concept. It's like so starting Mahatar Babaji said, everyone has ego, you also has ego. I asked him, do I have? So let me correct. So please tell me where I can recognize this. So he said, wherever you place the I, there itself is a ego. Wherever in your words, wherever you say I did this because of me, this has happened. Wherever you place I, that's the ego. So that's how you can check. And he said, every person, every individual has the ego like a seed. Better don't water that seed. So he said this, better don't water that. So how to check? When we check this, when we cross check all these qualities in us, when we are in awareness, when we drop that I consciousness, then whatever the ego, and you said the spiritual ego, that's very true. It's very, very, very subtle. We have to even normal ego we can depict, we can recognize, but the spiritual ego is very subtle that we can't experience that. We can't see that in us. So there are lot to share about your concepts. So thank you so much in very, very short period that you have entered. Thank you so much, Ravi sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shada garu. Thank you. And rightly said, even GK sir mentioned that, this me and Pranayita, every time we used to wonder, Patris are traveling all the countries, sharing the same simple Anapanasati, everywhere, and GK sir, I mean, the moment you said that, we really recalled, Pranayita, she mentioned so many times that, and even she asked, sir, how is it possible, sir? Only meditation, you go and it's the same concept everywhere you share, same thing, without any, this thing. So it's a wonder that, but his emphasis is mainly on meditation only, always meditation. And I was watching one clip of Patriji. He says that these stupid people will never enlighten. They are asking what this experience mean. Okay, so why do you analyze the experience? Some experience, raat gai, baat gai. Like he literally was saying like this, raat gai, baat gai. So such a simple wisdom, right? Such a simple statements, but profound wisdom from Patriji. And as you said, every time, it is there in everyone, and every time we kind of recognize, if we can kind of correct that, if we can see that, okay, this body is feeling hungry, and this mind is feeling, agitated, kind of, try to do that, so that slowly, we can do that. Okay, and we have so many abilities and so many things, and we want to, whenever, there is an opportunity, we want to see that, how can we, it's not we, actually, it's our ego, right? So our true self is always, once Patriji said, everybody is innocent. it's pure innocence. Everybody is a form of pure innocence. I was like, how is it possible, sir? I was thinking, I did not ask him, how is it possible? People are playing so much of dramas. How can it be there is any innocence inside of them? But then later understood there is innocence. It's just the ego is like kind of which is exhibiting all those traits outside, right? So it wants to show, it wants to divide, it wants to say that this is great, that is great, I am great, it wants to come into the limelight. Everything is ego. So later I understood. So yeah, thank you for highlighting that, Sharda garu. Thank you. Yes. Vindhya ji.
Thank you, Ravi Kiranji. Every day I hear you summarizing, and today to listen to you. I'm just getting to know you through these sessions, but profound wisdom. Like you were saying, how GK sir was saying, meditation is same, but actually, though everyone was talking about no death, each concept I felt was bringing new wisdom for us. Like you brought the freedom concept and how you talked about different types of freedom, beautifully explained. Especially like children, you explained about psychological freedom and how you appreciated the new generation. I too see that in my children and other children. They don't take anything just given. They want to figure out why and what. And like you said, I can't just tell them to come pray or do anything. It's if they want to mimic what I'm doing, they may, but first they want to understand. So I have realized that I can't make them do it. But your statement that future is safe in their hands makes me feel so good. You are right. I think they really care for this, the earth and everything. So thank you for pointing that out. And when you said about the soul, there is no change. Like, we are growing through many years, but actually, unless we look in the mirror or some pain in the body, something we feel, that is the identity. If we identify with the body, inside, whether I was a child or now, I'm still, if I see a childhood friend, I connect back right there. There's no difference in where I was with them. So that tells me the soul has nothing to do with the age. Beautifully mentioned. So identity is where I think I was also thinking, all these attachment, everything comes because we are identifying with not anything that is impermanent. We should identify with permanent, like soul or energy. Lot more things you said, beautifully you said, and yesterday what Master Pradeep said also, that about spiritual ego you said, and he pointed out we all have to be very aware of it. And yes, I think listening to everyone like this brings us back, humbles us down. So thank you, and thank you everybody.
Thank you, Vindhya ji. Thank you. And Patriji, he emphasized more on listening, Sravanamu, Mananamu, Nididhyasa, Sakshatkara, right? So when Patriji himself, when somebody is sharing from different society, he will literally will fold his hands, yes, Swamiji. Such a great master, he's listening like that, and we kind of learned from him, and he's the role model for all of these things. The Sravanamu listening is very, very important. If somebody is sharing something, that is I learned from Patriji, and I'm implementing. And I want to share one thing here is that on this platform, right? So when Sharada Garu said that you have to host these sessions, I said, Sharada Garu, I may be busy that, maybe only first 15 minutes I'll be here, and then otherwise after that I will leave. But ever since I started sitting here, I'm feeling, even for 1 minute, if I want to go out, I feel like, oh, will I be missing something? I'm sticking to my thing, and then I'm listening carefully. So much of wisdom from everybody, as you said, each and every. So far, I did not see the overlap in the wisdom. Some great, everybody has their own great wisdom, and a lot of insights from everybody sharing. And I think art and science of listening that Patriji he mentioned a few days ago. If somebody wants to go and listen, search in PMC channels, we will understand that how important it is to listen. So thank you to Sharada Garu to mentioning that. Okay, you have to host. Thank you, Vindhya ji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi Kiran ji. So today, before starting of the session, I was listening to Patriji's concept about Yama Dharmaraju. So Yama is king of death, right? So opposite of Yama is Maya. So Patriji was mentioning that. So when we are in this Maya, Maya is illusion. This ego is all about. It creates illusion. It creates a separation that you are different, I am different. So you spoke about this ego, and before just attending, I have listened to Patri's concept. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. What a coincidence. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I could see that some of you have mentioned some kind words and you got something out of this session. I'm very glad that, I could contribute to something that you can take away from this session. Thank you. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, yeah, please go ahead. Yes, sir.
Ravi, because it is you, I want to ask one question.
Yes, sir.
After listening these lessons, in and around the death every day, I am getting a fear to sleep, whether I will be wake up in the early morning.
You are gone.
Every day I am telling them, so don't panic if I don't wake up tomorrow morning, because I had enough wisdom about death and feeling like experiencing it. So any day it may happen. Be ready, guys. Like that I am telling to them.
Same, sir. Same feeling here. Same feeling here. And there is nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose, as Osho said. There is nothing that can be lost. So everything is there as it is. So it's just the form is changing. Energy is energy, and form is changing. Energy is taking the different forms and shapes. Yes, sir. You want to ask something? Continuation.
Every day, everyone is preparing us like an astronaut. We are becoming a full suit astronauts to go for that free journey.
Sir, people are saying we need you so much, GK sir.
Yeah. My suit will come. My suit is ready on 18th. I think I'm going to come with my suit.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much, friends. Thank you all for your comments in the chat. And anyone would like to share or ask any questions before closing the session?
Yeah, I used to, give that love symbols for all the messages, but today, being the speaker, I cannot give. Okay. But yeah, think that I have given for everyone.
Naturally.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, friends. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to learn. It's like a mutual learning. And thank you. Yeah, let us conclude and we'll meet again tomorrow.
Yes. So, friends, thank you so much. And tomorrow we have Chandra sir. So please do join tomorrow's session. And thank you so much once again, Ravi Kiranji. Yeah. Okay,
Thank
friends,
you.
I'm ending today's call. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye.